guys? We're back again with the Curtis Mathis. And this is actually going to be repair one of two. Last night, I didn't record a video of it because it was late and didn't want to take the hassle to record it, but I did pull her out. Had to tip the console on its front, because this being at an angle, or being upright like this, it would have just completely probably went like that when I would have pulled it out. So I didn't want to have that happen. I did end up bending a tube's leads, but I took a pair of needle pliers and needle nose pliers and just bent them back, and it was fine. The heat just kicked on, and it's 61 degrees outside today. You know, I got hot air blowing on my back. Oh well, that's just nothing. Who cares? But there was one thing that totally threw me off guard that I've never seen before, especially even in these newer brand type of radios that we get today that have phonographs in them. On the bottom here, you notice that there's a big power adapter plugged in. There is a power outlet on the bottom of here, and there's also like two audio jacks right here. Like I said, I still can't figure out. I think the audio jacks is for the tape deck, because I think this at one time did have a tape deck. But this is actually from the answering machine, and it's the power supply. The thing is it runs up here, and if I can get the lamp over here to bring it out, there's like a chip that's just dangling there. And it has an audio plug that goes up here to the phonograph. And it goes down over here and plugs into the stereo itself. Like I said, I've never seen that before, and I think that is what's causing most of my problem with distortion when I play records. My highs, or the tweeters I should say, I mean, there's a high-pitched sound coming through the record or whatnot. It sounds god-awful. I mean, awful. And I don't think that's supposed to be there. I've gone over the whole wire and schematic that I have here. Let's see if we can pull it up. And on here, I cannot find anything that says anything about that specific chip. Nothing. Nothing at all. And it's really confusing. And like I said, I have no idea what it's for. I don't know what I did with the service manual for the phonograph. It's around here somewhere. And even in the phonographs, or the turntable I should say, or whatever, phonograph, turntable, same difference. Even in its manual, there's nothing explaining what that chip is. I actually had a coworker who let me borrow a whole album of Chris's music, and you know, that's really nice of him. I kind of like Chris's music. I'll listen to it all year if I had to. I'm sitting you guys down for a second. But once again, even looking at it, the return table's schematic and everything, that chip wasn't in there, and that's just confusing me. So I just got back from Salvation Army. I'm thinking about trying to pull out this chip. I went and got a component cable. And as you can see, it's the two, it's the components. The blue, red, and greens. I could take the blue off, which I'm going to. The blue is going to come off. And I'm just going to use, or whatever one I can get off. And I'm just going to plug it straight line into the amp and see if I can get rid of that distortion that I was getting. Because like I said, I think that chip is what was causing the problem. And it was not, so it looks like it's the green that's getting removed because it's right on the edge. So I think that's what was causing the issue. She's going to get removed, and we're going to try this out. I am going to have to sit you guys down while I do this. I don't have a tripod or anything to hold my phone while I do this, but, you know, I could just unplug it It unplugs from up back there, and then you guys can get a better look at this thing. I don't think it's supposed to be in here. I don't know what it is. At first I was thinking it might be like a secondary power amp, but you could tell that it's newer. It's not original to this radio. Looking at the resistors and whatnot, it looks like there might be an integrated circuit on it. So I'm thinking that at one time this was a power amp to something. And like I said, I don't think it's supposed to be here. So we're going to try this cable that I bought, plug it straight line into the stereo, turn on the record, which I don't have one in there actually, and we're going to see what happens. I'm hoping that this is just something that somebody decided to add to give the record player a little boom. But she just plugs in right there. Alright, she's plugged in. And this one just goes right here. Alright, I think it's in there. Yeah, it's in there. As you can see, the record player doesn't look like it has any capacitors on it. I did find out reading online that if your vintage radio has a hum, that it's actually not a good thing, that you might have electrolytic going bad. And this is the only electrolytic that this chassis has on it, which I'm pointing to. But there's also two here. There's that cardboard one and then the big can one. And I think those might be going bad. That's probably going to be another repair. I'm not too sure yet. I'm going to do some more searching online. These audio ports up here on top of the chassis are a pain to get into, which I just got it in one end. Let's get the other one in. Oop! Plugged in the wrong spot. That one goes up. There. Got that one in. Now let's get the second one. Got her in. I know the cable is a little big. I was hoping to find a shorter one, but they didn't have any. It was on my screws. So let's go ahead. We'll grab the Disney one because the person that was letting me borrow these is my coworker, and he wanted me to use the Disney one for scratching up and whatnot. He didn't want me to use that big album collection, which does work. We'll pull her out. She just, a lot of people know how these work. We're going to turn the volume down. Oh, helps if I plug in the radio, right? Alright, she's plugged in. Let's see what happens. She kicked on. That's what I want to hear. See, I love the auto. I did have to do some repair on the stylus, which I fixed. Alright, now it sounds to me like that little chip is supposed to be there. Yep, that chip's supposed to be there. Is she lit up? Yep, she's lit up. So it's clear that that chip is supposed to be there. So we're going to go ahead and swap the chip back in. In a minute, once I get it hooked up, you will hear that distortion I have. I think it might actually be the stylus. I've done some fiddling with the stylus, and I just dropped it. But if you notice, if you look, she's a little warped. So we'll warp it back. It was just funny, last night it did not have that distortion whatsoever. So, Unplug the radio again. I know, sorry for all the movement. Like I said, if I had a tripod, this would be easier. But clearly, she's supposed to have that amp. That's what it is. Come to the conclusion that it's an amp. Thing is, I don't understand why it has to have this big power block. It just plugs in. I don't like how it just dangles. It does have some mounting screws, so I might find a place just to mount it. I don't know if it was supposed to mount on the actual phono itself, but you guys will hear that distortion in a minute. It's only in the highs. I think it might be actually be the stylus. I'm not sure. Just last night when I was playing with it for about an hour, I didn't have distortion, and then out of nowhere, the distortion came. I did have the speakers apart. I'm actually beginning to think I hooked them up wrong. Thing is on the schematic, I can't figure out which side's positive and negative on the speakers. If anybody would know, please give me a hint. Because looking right here, it says 2 speakers. And I'm guessing this right here probably means capacitor. I'm not sure. I can't really think. I don't know. This is something I'm trying to figure out. But I'm guessing that is the positive, and that would be the negative. I'm not sure. So if anybody would know how to determine positive and negative on this thing, I'd like to know. But I do know that this purple wire has to be the positive. The reason being is that it goes into the subwoofer, then it goes to the mid-range, and then from the mid-range to the tweeter, there's a capacitor there. And I know that's supposed to be there. I think that's the positive. And then there's 2... There's 2 wires that come out of them. One's, the 2 that come out of them are white and black. However, the white one goes under the chassis. The black one goes where I have the purple wires plugged in, and there's 2 right in the middle. And I think those are the positive, and then the 2 out ones are the negatives. Usually on speakers, they just have it, the positive will have like a bigger one, and the negative will have a smaller lead on it, but they don't. They're all the same size. And that's what's confusing me. So I don't know. We're hooking her back up. Come on, you baby. Get in there. Like I said, this is really hard to get in. Got it. So, but you'll hear that quite a bit audible distortion. I think it's the stylus. I'm not sure. I might have to get a replacement one. Yes, it's outside. It's pretty. Nice warm day today. Indian summer day. I like the auto, so I just pop it in auto. Let it get its thing going. Yeah, she don't want to go into auto this time. Well, guess what? She has that issue with wanting to stay in auto, or not having the auto work. Drop. There it goes. And then it just drops. Now distortion's gone. I only have right though. Now the distortion's gone. That drives me nuts. Oh, the distortion's gone. I love that when you shut it off. It's like raw, 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 raw. I know that's because the tubes are shutting down and whatnot, and that's what I find funny. Alright, so clearly I got some wires hooked up wrong. Because I don't have any left speakers now. So I think I probably put them in the wrong spots here. I probably put them wrong up here. Yeah, I missed one. Sucker. There. Alright. Put it in the wrong port. There's 3 ports on it. Whoa. I just got the chip caught in my foot. But it's clear to tell that that's actually an additional amp, which is not a big deal. So we just slide her into manual. She'll kick on. Duh, I unplugged her. See, that's something I keep forgetting. We're so used to nowadays just being able to plug something in and leave it in. I'm not used to not trusting something to stay plugged in all the time. So we'll plug her in again. Let her warm up. Good. Got our left and right. Beautiful. See, that distortion's gone now. Like I said, I think it was that stylus. Alright guys, well, we found out the situation here. So, yep, that's it. We'll catch you guys later. That was a repair. One of question mark wasn't much of a repair because it wasn't even broke. But, you know, since I know that there's a lot of issues taken care of, she's going to get moved over here. I'm not going to leave her plugged in continuously because I don't trust her just yet until I can get electrolytics fixed, which is those 3 metal caps, or the cardboard one too. So, it's all good. You guys take care. We'll talk to you later. Bye.